Anyway, should we do miscellaneous bit at the end, guys? Now that I've solved that crisis, we'll do that. We'll do miscellaneous bit at the end. This is the worst part of the podcast where I answer questions sent in by you, the listener. If you have a question, if you need some life advice, if you have a funny or interesting story you want to tell me, want my thoughts on something, anything at all, send it through to podcast@lewspears.com. That's my email, podcast@lewspears.com. Why the fuck did I print the text so small? Can you even fucking read that? I can't. Dude, I need a magnifying glass. What the fuck? Developing skills in what might not be the right environment. Ooh, this is a big one. Hi, Lewis. A couple years ago, you inspired me to try stand-up for the first time. Good on you. And I found that I loved it. I started doing weekly open mic nights last year while on my gap year, but I've just moved to Canberra. Ugh! Yuck. This guy lives where Keelan does. I just moved to Canberra for uni, and I feel like I have hit a bit of a roadblock. Sorry, I printed the text so small I can barely fucking read it. I feel like your grandfather trying to use the phone. I moved to Canberra for uni and I feel like I've hit a bit of a roadblock. I want to be able to get out and do more than one night a week just to get better, but open mic scenes seem spread quite thin here. Yeah, Canberra wouldn't have much of a comedy scene at all. And I've been lucky to make it to more than one a month. Yeah. Particularly as I have taken on a leadership role at my university college. Why? The audiences here also seem much older than what I'm used to, with the average age in the room being well above 30. I am 19. Yeah, that's going to be rough. I remember when I was like 19 getting on stage, and every now and then I would do a gig and the audience was much older, and I just felt the entire room go, what the fuck could this kid possibly say that has any relevance to me or my life? And those people were right. The dilemma also applies to my other professional interest, freediving and spearfishing, which I'm considering becoming an instructor for, but I cannot train for due to a sinus injury sustained while diving and, of course, not living near the ocean anymore. I feel as though I am sacrificing both my core interests for an education that won't necessarily help me in either of those fields. Any tips or advice would be appreciated. Kind regards, Alex. I mean, Alex, if you read your email, you've answered your own question. I don't want to be in uni. I want to chase these two ridiculous, stupid dreams while I'm young. That's my answer to you, brother. I went to TAFE for a little bit, and I was there for a couple months, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I know that I don't want to do this. I want to have a shot at being a comedian. Take your shot. You're 19 years old. Take your shot. You can go to university at any age, at any time, and study whatever you want. You could study a safe thing that will guarantee like a pretty good salary straight out of uni. You will only be 19 and an idiot with no kids and no girlfriend and no one depending on you once. Take the shot. Go out on a fucking limb and live and be broke and maybe fail at your stupid, impossible dream that you love. Because this, I mean, you should always be chasing your dream no matter what age you are. But when you're 19, that's when you should absolutely be doing the dumb thing. That's when you should be taking the gap year to travel if you don't know what you're going to do. That's when you should be chasing the stupid spearfishing instructor like course thing and trying to figure that out. That's when you should be in a city like Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane doing shithole open mics to see if you could possibly become anyway slightly good at stand-up comedy. Right? If you really want to be a comedian or if you really like doing it, you got to be in a place where you can get on stage multiple times a week because you are going to be very bad for 2 years. But if you can only get on stage once a month, you're going to be very bad for 5 because it's just stage time and there's no such thing as a bad gig. I would say if you stay in Canberra, keep doing those shitty gigs because what you'll find is those gigs where there's only people that are 30 plus that are not in your demographic, they will actually make you a much better comic than the good, easier gigs because you will figure out how to climb that hill. Like I really, really started getting good by performing at this room called Shisha Comedy, which was a room full of 80 Arabs smoking shisha, sober, no alcohol. They were all Muslim. I was one of the only white people to perform every single night on the lineup. I was the only white guy. It was in Springvale. It was one of the more hostile environments that I'd ever get up on stage on, because I would get up there and all the Muslim Arab guys would look at me and go, "What the fuck is this white guy going to say? Go on, skinny white boy, say something racist." And I did. No, I didn't. But that like difficult environment, like not conducive to comedy, made me great, and I came to love going there, and I still miss it. And every time I walk past a shisha shop and I smell the smoke, I get this feeling of like excitement, like I'm about to go on stage. And I did that, and I didn't get paid for every week for like 2 years with my good friend Khaled Kalafala, and I loved it. But if I were in Canberra or Perth or Adelaide, I wouldn't be doing that. I would get to the end of my uni degree, and maybe I would get 10 years into my career, and in the back of my head I would be thinking, what if I took the shot? Take the shot. You literally have nothing to lose. All right? When you are 18, 19, don't take the safe option. You have nothing to lose. It is like right now, I have a mortgage. I got to take some safe options every now and then. I got to smash YouTube and take brand deals because I can't lose the house, right? This is one of the first big responsibilities in my life. I have to do some safe moves. And I'm in a position where I'm established enough where, that's okay. And eventually I'm still able to take big risks and take big swings. But if I had a job and I was just paying my mortgage, there's no fucking way I'd be going out every weeknight to try and do gigs. No way. You're 19. You have nothing to lose. You can pick up the uni course. All right. It sounds like you could probably just get a scuba spearfishing instructor license thing in a couple of months and start earning money doing a really fun, cool, sexy job that will probably deepen your soul and give you a lot of experiences that you could take on stage much better than whatever fucking uni. Like, you care so little about whatever the fuck you're studying that you didn't even tell me what you're studying. It didn't even it didn't even cross your mind to tell me what you're studying. That's how little you give a fuck about it. So pause it. Come back later. Go and try and do, if you are listening to this and you have a stupid dream that is almost impossible, fucking go for it. Give yourself 5 years, right, to try. Doesn't matter what age you are, right? Unless you have kids, really, what are you scared of losing? Like, do you really have any responsibilities? If you don't have children, completely different. You got to prioritize them. If you're a fucking mother or a dad and you start, taking days off work to get up and sing at the karaoke bar, hoping that a fucking talent manager will see you and pick you up for their record label, brother, go home to your kids. All right. But if you are fucking 19 years old, a young person, and you have a barely possible dream, go for it. Give it a go. And you know what? You will be so much happier with your life failing and then getting the job than you will be not knowing. That's the worst case scenario, is that you have 5 years of joy, of hardship, of heartbreak, of wins, of successes, of exhilaration, of really fucking pushing yourself and bettering yourself and broadening your horizons. And that makes you such a more complete version of you and a stronger, more resilient, empathetic human being from pushing and trying that even if you fail, all the lessons, all the experiences, all the memories, even the bad ones, you get to keep, and it becomes part of your soul and who you are, and it makes you a better, healthier, happier human being, so that even if you fail, worst case scenario, you're the best version of you, and you still get that job that you get at the end of uni. You just got it 5 years after everyone else. And in the scheme of things, that's fuck all time. If you're 19, you might live to 110. If you look after yourself with the medicine we have, that's actually quite likely. So do you want to live for another 90 years with what if in the back of your head? Fuck that. Go for it. Be broke. Go and be broke and fail and fail and fail and be bad at it. And you might one day fail your way into an opportunity, into a level of skill where you start succeeding. And you might make a career out of it. And that's great. I've done that. That's absolutely fucking beautiful. I'm so grateful and I'm so lucky, and I work so hard to keep that, because it could go away. If I stop posting for 8 months, I'm fucking back into a job. You know what I mean? Like, once you get the dream, now you're playing a whole new game. Hold on. I've been holding on for the last fucking, I don't know, when did I leave my job? Maybe 2016 or 15? 9, 10 years? I've been holding on. That's my dream now, is to hold on to it. Right? There are so many things worse in this life than failing at something that you really felt passionate about. And one of the worst things that is worse than that is the fear of not knowing what could have happened if you tried. That is worse than failing. So go out there and give it a shot, knowing that it's very unlikely that you will succeed. Because it's that, like, I feel like a huge part of the reason why I've been so successful, and even on the scale of things, I'm nowhere fucking near where I want to be. But a huge reason why I've managed to reach this point is because when I started, I went into it with the attitude of, it's actually statistically likely that I will fail. So I have to try harder at this than anything I have ever tried in my fucking life. And I'm going to work harder at this than every one of my peers. And not only am I going to work harder, I'm going to look at what everyone else is doing, what everyone's doing right, what everyone's doing wrong, and I'm going to try and do it in a much smarter, more efficient way. And one thing that I wish I had the knowledge to do is to, and at the same time, I'm going to try and take care of myself, my mind, my soul, and my body, and make sure that I rest and make sure that I understand that if I'm sick, I should probably do something about it because I didn't do any of that shit. But, you know, maybe that's a big reason why I got so far, because I just I burned the candle at both ends until I collapsed. Which you can do when you're 18, 19 to 25. You can fucking send it, bro. And worry about the consequences later. Like, that's really what I understand about myself now, is that if I was my age now and I had more money and I had a secure job and I didn't have any of this stress on me from running my own business and trying to make it and having setbacks and going through what I've gone through, if I had none of that, but I never tried, I think that I would be much less happy and unsatisfied with my life than if I didn't have all those things, but I did try and I did fail and I ended up with the job. If I had the job and I never tried, versus if I had the job and I failed, but I really tried, I know which version of me would be happier, and it would be the version that failed. Because I would have known that I gave it everything. So don't, for the love of God, if you are a kid, if you are in your early 20s, don't lock yourself into a lifetime of wondering what if, because it's the safer option. Safe for who? People with kids and a mortgage? You have none of that. Fucking send it. Go hard. Be shit. Go and fail. Because you might win. You may succeed. And then you get to play the even harder game of holding on to it. If I thought trying to make enough money to quit my job and be a comedian full time was hard, fuck. Holding on to that for 10 years, that's way harder. So yeah, good luck. Try and try and try and fail and fail and fail, and understand that you will be very bad at it for at least 3 years until one day you start being good and start doing whatever you do well much more often than you do it poorly. So go out there and try. That's what I would say to you.